Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Smashy Smashy Eggman movie reviews and more. Top 10 movies of 2022. I'm recording this one a little differently, just for ease, because not all of these are out, so I don't have physical copies. And I figured, why not? I'll try this, save myself some editing hassle. So here we are, the top 10 movies. That's it. I have no honorable mentions. There were a lot of good movies I saw this year. It was about 40 something at the end of it all, is what I ended up seeing. Um, but yeah, so let's get right into it with number 10, and that is Death on the Nile. Now, I played with this one for a while. This spot was almost either the Batman or Black Adam, but although those are good movies, um, Black Adam probably was the better of the two, though they're very different movies. Death on the Nile, as much as I don't think it's as good as Murder on the Orient Express, I still think it did a very good job. I think it told its story very well. It was a good adaptation of what it did. Kenneth Branagh still brings his A game, and it still has enough twists and turns that keeps you really interested as the movie progresses. I wasn't certain this thing was going to make the top 10 at all until I was literally putting it together. But yeah, I really like Death on the Nile. Again, Murder on the Orient Express, which I have the poster for behind me. It's a great movie. This isn't as good, but it's still a lot of fun. I still really enjoyed it, and I think it's a beautifully shot. It's very well done, and if you haven't checked it out, it is definitely worth the look. Number 9, X. This, of course, also has its sequel, Pearl, which would be an honorable mention as well, because Pearl is also very good. I was really surprised when I saw this movie back in, I think, February is when it came out, February or March. Um, and yeah, I was really, really surprised. This movie really interested me when I saw the trailers for it, about this group of people who are shooting a uh, porno on this person's land, and then they freak out. I got more than I expected when I actually saw the movie. It's a great art film, as much as it is a slasher film, because it is about two old people who are murdering these people who are making the porn on their land, and it has a interesting message about age and love. And yeah, it was a really good time. I really enjoyed X. I've watched it again. I've watched Pearl. I know its third movie, Maxine, comes out next year. But yeah, I really liked X, and I was surprised. It was probably my favorite horror movie of 2022, and there were a lot of good ones. There's a lot of quality horror that came out. X was just the best one, I think. Number 8, the Bob's Burgers movie. Um, I love Bob's Burgers. It's a great show. I was super excited about the movie. I have the poster in my house for the Bob's Burgers movie. I'm probably gonna do a bonus video before the end of the year, pretty soon, from when I'm recording this, talking about my looking at the posters. But I do have a Bob's Burgers poster, which I bought before I saw the movie. Because if anything, it was just a thing for the show. I love the show, and this movie was really good. It was good enough, like, I think a good bar for me is, do I want to watch this again um, in a calendar year? Whether it's going back to the theaters to see a movie, or watching it when I buy a copy of it, when I possess a copy of it. The streaming ones are a little harder because I'm not a huge streamer to begin with, so I don't think of those movies as much. Though the ones that are on this list are very, very good. So it became that question, and when I really started looking at my top 10, Death on the Nile I saw twice in theaters. X I saw in theaters, and I watched when I first got the copy of it. Bob's Burgers I saw twice in theaters, and I totally watch it again. If somebody said, "Hey, want to watch Bob's Burgers?" It has a great plot. The cast is amazing, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed Bob's Burgers, and yeah, takes up the number 8 spot. Number 7, The Menu. This one I haven't gotten a chance to watch a second time. This is one of the few on this list I haven't. Um, but I really liked this movie. I was super surprised at how good this movie was. Ray Fiennes, Anna Taylor-Joy, Nicholas Hoult, they all bring stellar performances. It's a great unexpected plot. This one's also listed as horror, so I think I think this might beat X. Obviously, it's ranked higher. And there is another horror. They're all very different though, because X is your typical slasher with a message. This one isn't even a slasher. This one is just the time going on as people wait to die. They're told they're going to die, but they're not like picked off one at a time. So it's a very slow burn, but it's a very interesting story about how we are beaten down in our lives. And I really enjoyed it. I am excited for this thing to come out so I can watch it again. I really liked it. That's why it's picking up number 7. Number 6, Cyrano. Um, this one I actually just recently rewatched because I was trying to put together the top 10 list before I had seen everything I was going to end up seeing this year. And I kept going, I don't think Cyrano's going to make it. And I kept looking at the name and looking at the movie going, I don't know, I really remember liking this. But, you see 40-something movies, it's hard to compare that down to 10. You're always going to feel like you're forgetting something, you're leaving something off. That was pretty entertaining. And yeah, I was afraid I was doing that with Cyrano. So I sat down, I rewatched it, and it is such a good musical. It is such a good telling of the Cyrano de Bergerac story. Peter Dinklage is amazing in this role. It is a great film. I'm sad it didn't do better at the box office than what it did. This is an amazing movie. If you haven't seen Cyrano, check it out. It is a wonderful, wonderful film. Number 5. Halfway mark goes to Scream 2022, which I'm looking. I have the actual top 10 off to the side, so I can reference it. This is. I know I said X might be my favorite horror film. This is the highest ranked horror film. I was really surprised how well they did with it, especially without Wes Craven's involvement, since this is the first movie in this franchise he hasn't directed because of his death. I think they just did an amazing job with it. They put together such a good movie with such a good cast. It has twists, it has turns. It's excuse me. You can see where it's coming at the same time you can, and it really does play off of that requel idea that's been going on in Hollywood for so long, and it does it so well. And I know the 6th one comes out next year, so I'm excited to see Scream 6, because it actually is called Scream 6. This one is called Scream because, again, it's making fun of the requels, and the requels always just go back to the original name. It is so well done. I really enjoyed it. It was such a good movie. Number 4, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. This is the first of the straight streaming movies that I put on this list because I had so much fun watching this. Again, I don't watch a lot of streaming movies, so I never think to rewatch Chip and Dale, but I mean, it reinvigorated my love of the old show, and it is just so freaking well done. Um, John Mulaney and I am blanking on Dale's voice actor, and I know him. He's such a good actor. Andy Samberg. Um, they are terrific as these voices. The whole movie, the whole plot, all the little Easter eggs that are sprinkled throughout to bring this almost Who Framed Roger Rabbit-esque world to life is so much fun. I loved every minute of this movie, and if you have Disney Plus, I cannot recommend it enough to check out Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. That brings us to number 3. Before I get on to number 3, if I feel like I'm not really going into these movies, it's because I have reviews of each of these movies on the channel in the bonus content. You can just go see my thoughts on all of these by themselves. I think the menu is the only one that isn't by itself because I also watched Spirited the same day. And I did those in one. But still, you can see much fuller reviews. This is just my top 10 going through it. Number 3, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I mean, it's Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage. This is such a fun movie. It was so weird, so unbelievable, so exactly what I wanted it to be for this concept. For this concept of Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage. It hit every note the way I wanted it to. It was just a fun time from start to finish, and it's one you'll never get bored with. because it just keeps moving and it just keeps being Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage. It was so much fun. I really, really loved this movie. Brings us to the number 2 movie, and that is Weird, the Al Yankovic Story. This one is the Roku streaming service movie that I watched. Again, this is another streaming movie. This was an incredible film. Just the way that it makes fun of the documentary style films that have been coming out and takes this really simple story of who Weird Al is and what Weird Al did to become famous, and the fact that he's not doesn't have all these controversies and all these other things. He's just Weird Al. And then you sprinkle into that, bringing up all of these other like parts of other people's stories and just tacking them onto Weird Al. And then the ending, the actual ending of this movie. Oh, it is you're just in enjoyment from start to finish. There isn't a dull moment. And yeah. So this one was a no-brainer to take the number 2 spot this year. If I redid my top 500 movies, this would be in top 200 probably, as would number 1, obviously, because it's number 1. It's the best. It's the best movie I've seen all year. And if I'm saying this is a top 200 movie, then number 1 has to be a top 200 movie because it's better. I think it's better than Weird, the Al Yankovic Story. And this one was an easy one because, again, I don't hold how many times I've watched a movie against it for its ranking. Because, again, you have stuff like Weird, the Al Yankovic Story, or Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers, The Menu, or anything else I've seen at the ass end of the year where I couldn't rewatch them, or I just never think to rewatch them. Again, I was been very disappointed with a lot of what I've watched at the butt end of this year. Some of the stuff has been good. Violent Night was really good. I just didn't think it was that good. But this one I actually have watched many. I think I've seen it 3 times since it came out. And that is Bullet Train, number 1, with a bullet. Such a ridiculous movie. Brad Pitt's great in it. Everyone's great in it. It is just so much fun from start to finish. It's ridiculous characters and a ridiculous storyline and a ridiculous setting. I fell madly in love with this movie the first time I saw it. Got a friend to go see it with me a second time. Tried talking a friend into seeing it a third time. Got it on Blu-ray and then watched it again. This movie was just great. It was great from start to finish. It was so much fun. I really liked it. I really like Bullet Train, and if you haven't seen it, take the time, check it out. It is worth it. You will not regret the 2 hours being spent on this movie. I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, check it out. So that was my top 10 movies of 2022. A quick recap on that, just in case. We had Death on the Nile, X, Bob's Burgers movie, The Menu, Cyrano, Scream, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, Weird, the Al Yankovic Story, and Bullet Train. So that'll do it. That'll do it for the top 10. I'm not going to put together top 10 worst. I'm not doing any other videos, just the top 10 best. I want to talk about good things and not crap on what I didn't like this year. But yeah, so that's it. We move through January, continue on our path of January. I have a couple of guests the next 2 weeks. AJ Robinson, Courtney Cross, my good friends, will be joining me to talk End Time and Reggie's Prayer. Also in the Reggie's Prayer video, there's an announcement, but I'll re-establish the announcement here because I already shot those videos a while ago, but I'll just make it. The channel, I'll be stopping producing weekly content effective March, the first week of March. I've just decided to take the break, so I'm going to do that. And yeah, that'll be the first week of March. I will be taking a break. I just realized I'm wearing a Ghostface shirt. Scream, my number 5 movie this year. So that's cool. But yeah, so there'll be a break coming in March. There might still be bonus videos. I haven't decided on that one yet. So thank you for clicking on this video. Like, comment, subscribe. This is Smashy Smashy Eggman Movie Reviews and More. I am Martin Prevost. Have a good one.